Alex Eala finally broke the Birmingham curse, and the whole world watched her do it. For years, this tournament had been the one place that always sent her home early, always reminded her how far she still had to go. But on June 7th, 2026, something different happened on the Ann Jones Center Court, something that had an entire nation holding their breath for 2 hours and 38 minutes. A 21-year-old from the Philippines, down a set, down in the final game, 3 breakpoints away from losing everything, and she didn't flinch. Stay with us, because by the end of this story, you will understand exactly why those words she said after the final left everyone in tears.
I'm so honored to be lifting this trophy today, but lifting this trophy does not mean that I will be among the greats yet, so I'm motivated to keep working, and I'm grateful for the part that this trophy has played in my journey. I'd also like to thank Nicola for this kind words, and of course congratulate you for an amazing week. And it's one of those days I wish we could both win, and of course this match was incredible. I think it was anyone's game, so congratulations to your team.
There's a version of this story that starts with trophies and headlines, but the real story, the one that makes this Birmingham title mean everything, starts somewhere much quieter. It starts with a young girl from the Philippines who grew up watching Wimbledon on a television screen and told herself, "One day, that will be me." Alexandra, or Alex Eala, was not handed her place in tennis. She earned it one impossible comeback at a time. Born in Manila in 2025, she began her professional journey at the age of 14, competing in ITF circuit matches in 2020 before the world had even heard her name. She trained at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Spain, absorbing everything she could from one of the greatest champions the sport has ever produced.
I want to thank the organizers, LTA, for such a beautiful tournament, and of course, everybody who came to watch. I think you guys made it super special. It's my first WTA final, and I guess that's also why I'm so emotional, but it's only the first. I'll definitely work hard to do more. Wimbledon is next week, so hopefully I'll forget about this match soon. Anyway, I'd like to thank my family and my team sitting right there. Yeah, it's been a crazy year. So I'll remember this week and this moment forever. So thank you, everybody.
Grass courts were a particular mystery. In a sport where clay and hard courts have become the dominant surfaces, grass requires a different kind of instinct, lower bounce, faster play, and a mental agility that takes years to develop. Eala had the talent, she had the work ethic, but Birmingham, that storied WTA 125 tournament on English grass, had not been kind to her. In 2025, she arrived in Birmingham as a genuine contender. She had just completed the most stunning run of her career, reaching the semi-final of the Miami Open as a wildcard, beating world number 5 Madison Keys and world number 2 Iga Swiatek back-to-back to make history as the first Filipino player to reach a WTA 1000 semi-final. She was ranked in the top 100 for the first time. The world was watching. And then she walked onto the Birmingham grass, and Czech player Linda Fruhvidová, ranked number 152 in the world, handed her a 5-7, 7-6, 1-6 defeat in the first round. She exited before the tournament even started to breathe. And yet, that was only the beginning of what this court was going to put her through, because what happened next would test not just her tennis, but her entire belief in herself.
A little bit of luck and intention was what got me through. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your insight. Thank you to both of you for an incredible tournament. Best of luck for the rest of the grass court season here in the UK. And once again, let's hear it for the champion of the 2026 Lexus Birmingham Open, Alexandra Eala. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having the men's singles final in the next half an hour or so.
Think about what that means. The Eastbourne Open, a tournament with history embedded in every blade of grass, a final that placed her on the same stage as tennis royalty. And she was there. She earned it. Nobody gave it to her. Her opponent in that final was Maya Joint, a 19-year-old Australian who had been quietly building her own story all week. And the match they produced was the kind that leaves spectators physically exhausted. Eala won the second set convincingly to level the match. The third set went to a tiebreak, and not just any tiebreak, a final set tiebreak that reached 12-10, 12 points to 10. Maya Joint saved 4 championship points. 4 times, Alex Eala was 1 point away from the title. 4 times it was taken from her hands. She lost 6-4, 1-6, 7-6. And in the post-match speech, she stood there, fighting every visible instinct to break down, and said with grace and composure, "I want to congratulate Maya for a great match and a great tournament. I think you did really well, and if I were to lose to anyone this week, it'd definitely be you." The crowd gave her a standing ovation, because even in the most painful moment of her young career, Alex Eala made them feel something. But the words she spoke after the ceremony, away from the microphone, told the fuller story. She said, "That's also why I'm so emotional. This is definitely a first, and I will definitely work hard to do more. Wimbledon is next week, so hopefully I'll forget about this match soon, but I'll remember this week and this moment forever." She would remember it, and she would use it. If there is one pattern that the tennis statisticians kept returning to in Eala's career, it was this. Czech players owned her, completely, mercilessly. Going into the 2026 Birmingham Open final, Eala's record against Czech Republic players on the WTA Tour stood at 0 wins and 13 losses. 0 and 13. Not a single victory. Not a single match where she had walked off the court with the win against a player flying that Czech flag. Let that number settle for a moment. The losses came in waves. In 2025, she fell to Teresa Valentova at the Japan Open. She lost to Linda Noskova in the round of 16 at the Indian Wells Open. She was beaten by Karolina Muchova in the round of 16 at the Miami Open. Even in 2026, the pattern continued. A first-round defeat to Teresa Valentova at the Qatar Open. 3 Czech losses just in the months leading up to Birmingham alone. And as if the universe was testing how far her resolve could stretch, her path at the 2026 Birmingham Open delivered one final, almost cruel twist. Her opponent in the final would be Nikola Bartonkova, a Czech player, the 5th seed, the same Nikola Bartonkova who had partnered with her in the doubles draw earlier that very week, where they had lost together in the first round to Harriet Dart and Maya Lumsden. They had been doubles partners. They had laughed together on the practice court, and now they would stand on opposite sides of the net, with the Maud Watson Trophy sitting between them, both knowing exactly what the other was capable of. This was not just a tennis match. This was Eala versus her own history. And Eala came out of the gate as the top seed, ranked world number 37, fresh off a campaign through the Birmingham draw that had been nearly flawless. She had dismantled Priscilla Hahn 6-0, 5-2 in the first round, a dominant, statement-making performance. She had beaten Alina Chirayeva with clinical efficiency. She had seen off her semi-final opponent, Rebecca Masarova, in 3 sets. She had dropped only 1 set the entire week. Her tennis was sharp. Her mind was focused. But in finals, history has a tendency to show up uninvited. And for Alex Eala, that history wore a Czech flag. Could she break the curse? Or would Birmingham become just another painful chapter in a story that seemed to keep ending the same way? The final of the 2026 Birmingham Open on June 7th was the kind of match that reminded you why you fell in love with tennis in the first place. Eala came out onto the Ann Jones Center Court with everything on the line. The Maud Watson Trophy sat courtside. The crowd filled the seats. And from the very first game, nothing went the way the script said it should. She struggled on serve. Her first serve percentage dropped to 58%. She served 4 double faults, unusual for a player who had controlled her game so precisely throughout the week. The wind was blustering across the court, disrupting rhythm and making every single toss a calculation. Bartunkova, playing in her first ever grass court tournament, found her footing early. She was sharp, she was composed, and she rattled off the final 3 games of the first set to take it 7-5. Eala had gone a set down. The Czech curse was stirring. But then something shifted. In the second set, Eala found something. It wasn't just her tennis that changed, it was the look in her eyes. She stopped fighting the conditions and started using them. Her first serve numbers climbed. She dropped just 6 points on serve across the entire set. She raced to a 5-2 lead and held firm, taking the second set 3-6 to level the match. The third set was a war. Bartunkova took an early 2-1 lead. Eala answered with 3 consecutive games to lead 4-2. The Czech fought back. Games went with serve. The set reached 5-5, level, breathless, neither player willing to give an inch. Eala won the next game to serve for the championship. And then she was broken to love. The most brutal moment in tennis, serving for the title and losing the game without winning a single point. 5-all became 6-5. Eala had to regroup, had to breathe, had to silence everything that her history was screaming at her in that moment. She broke Bartunkova in the next game, and then serving for the championship a second time, trailing 30-40 with 3 break points against her, the Czech curse right there, right at the edge of the match. Eala looked up, steadied herself, and said out loud what she later revealed. "I knew that if I didn't go for it, I would regret it." She went for it. She saved all 3 break points. She won the match. Final score 5-7, 6-3, 7-5. 2 hours and 38 minutes. The first time in her professional WTA Tour career that Alex Eala had defeated a Czech Republic player. And she did it when it mattered most, in a final, with everything watching. But it was what happened after the final whistle, what she said, that broke every single person in that stadium. Alex Eala didn't just win a tennis tournament on June 7, 2026. She won a battle against her own history. She broke a Czech curse that had lasted 13 matches. She became a Birmingham champion in the same tradition as the legends who came before her. And she did it with 3 breakpoints against her in the final game, on her first ever grass court title run at 21 years old. But more than all of that, more than the scoreline, the ranking points, the trophy, it was the words. Lifting this trophy does not mean I will be among the greats yet. I am motivated to keep working. Those words told you everything you need to know about why Alex Eala is different, why this story is far from over, and why the best is still to come. If this story moved you, if you believe in what Alex Eala is building, hit that subscribe button right now, because we are going to be here every step of the way as she chases the dream that started on a television screen in Manila. Don't miss a single chapter of this story. Subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.